Karibuni, welcome. That is welcome in, Karibu is welcome in Kiswahili. And you are welcome from wherever it is they're listening to this from. Whether it is from East Africa, where I am in Kenya, or in South Africa, West Africa, North Africa, or anywhere in the world, you are welcome. Karibu sana. And I'm particularly excited to be bringing this course, Sales Mastery, to you. And the reason why I'm excited is because it's a culmination of years of personal experience in selling, experience with other companies and salespeople I've worked with, and even training salespeople, experience with different sectors, and all that experience and feedback culminates into this course, Sales Mastery, and I'm particularly excited to be bringing it to you. Now, why should you listen to me? Well, because what you will learn in this course, Sales Mastery, is not theory. It is born out of practical experience. My very first job, I sold life insurance. Now, I'm willing to bet you have avoided a life insurance agent, and that was me you were avoiding. But seriously though, the years I spent selling life insurance taught me many things, but I'd like to share a particular incident which brings out a significant part of the challenges salespeople go through. This one time, I am given an appointment, and I confirm the appointment the material morning. I arrive at the venue, and guess what? The fellow is not in, and his colleague tells me that so-and-so said when you arrive to tell you that he is not in. Not that he's apologized, he stepped out briefly, not that he is coming back shortly, not that he's been called into a meeting, not that he said you call him back to the schedule, no. He is simply not in. I smelt a rat. And true to my instinct, as I was leaving, I turned my head and I saw the gentleman I was supposed to be meeting peeping from the kitchen. In other words, he was simply avoiding me. And that stings to a salesperson, because it is a form of rejection, a very significant form of rejection beyond the typical no. But over the years, and this is one thing which you will learn from this course, how to overcome such. Over the years, then I learned when I would see something like that, a gentleman, somebody peeping like that, I would pity them and I would say to myself, poor fellow, how indignified of him to be peeping from a kitchen, and all he had to do was say no. And these are some of the things and challenges salespeople go through, and we shall be looking at in this course. I was pretty good at selling life insurance, I must say, because in my second year, I was the best agent for the company I was selling for, the best agent countrywide. Anyway, thereafter, I went to sell travel services. Now, what are travel services? Travel services are your car hire, ticketing, tours and safaris, hotel bookings, mention it. Now, I work for an agency which offered all those under one roof. It was a one-stop travel shop. And my job was to go and convince a company to do their bookings through us. And why would they agree? For two reasons. One, they would get the services on credit. In other words, meaning they will pay at the end of the month when we bill them. And number two, the alternative was for them to go calling the respective airlines and hotels and car hire companies trying to get a good rate. Yet all they had to do was call us and we would do all that for them. So it was a huge benefit. Now, the company would have to agree to, of course, do their bookings through us. And that was done through a contract. And they would sign a contract, which then we would execute by offering the services. Now, the kind of person who would bind such a company to a contract would be the MD or the finance director. And the two, or somebody of such senior executive level. And lo and behold, when I would get the contracts, submit them to my employer, and towards the end of the month, my MD would call me and ask me, so how many contracts do we have, Kageshe? I would say 5, but because my target was 7, and I'm a good salesperson, I would also add, but there are 2 more in the pipeline. And then he would ask me another question, how many are booking with us? And I would draw a blank. And the reason why I would draw a blank was because none of them were booking with us. I had signed contracts by an MD, but none of them were materializing as sales. Same thing happened the following month, and so I took an interest. And that is when I discovered what was happening. See, the MD or finance director or such senior executive would sign the contract. However, they would not be the one to pick the phone and call for an air ticket. No, somebody else would. And this somebody else was nowhere in the power structure or in the hierarchy. In fact, in my case, it was a secretary somewhere. And yet this secretary somewhere held sway, determined whether I would meet my sales targets or not, and my targets, and therefore my company's target. And so there had to be a way of, so I discovered the difference between selling to a business, as I was in the travel agency, to selling to an individual when I was doing insurance. That was business to a customer, one person who makes all the decisions, to selling to a business where the decision making goes beyond one person, B2B, business to business. And in my case, the other person who I needed to convince to make this decision was this secretary. So what to do? It is because of that challenge that we came up with what was called a secretaries club. And listen in from whatever it is you're listening in Africa. This is one way in which you can ethically influence an individual whose decision can determine a sale or not. What we came up with was a secretaries club. And this is how it worked. So long as you book through us, you are entitled to become a member. That was the only entry fee. And what rewards awaited you? On your birthday, you would get a gift. And on Valentine's Day, you would get a gift. Of course, it helped that all of them were ladies. And at the end of the year, we would then take them all out. In fact, I remember by the time I was leaving, on Valentine's Day, I would deliver a rose and chocolate to 97 secretaries. That is how successful the club had become, and consequently, the sales therefrom. This is something which I picked and I found very useful at that point in time. Beyond that, I have sold financial services, I have led sales teams, and over time, I then came to discover that what really made me tick was empowering other individuals. And that's why I founded Lend Me Your Ears, on whose platform today I have a column that is running in the Business Daily, which is East Africa's premier business newspaper. And the column is called Sales Pitch, which is in its 8th year as I'm recording this. And the feedback from that column has been nothing short of encouraging. I've gotten feedback from, of course, salespeople, HR personnel. I've gotten feedback from business people, and I've gotten feedback from CEOs. But perhaps the two parties who've given feedback which completely blew me away was, one, a chairman of a group of companies who asked to see me, to see what we can structure for his companies. And two, a hawker. Believe it or not, anybody listening from Africa, you understand what I mean by a hawker, the gentleman in the streets. Maybe most likely he was reading a newspaper and then he saw my article and read it, and he found something of use. Salespeople who are 20 years in the business, 2 months in the business, would still find something. So it has been a very encouraging journey. In addition to that, I run a blog, lendmeyourEars.co.ke. And that blog has readership in the thousands. I've also trained salespeople, and in all sectors of, you can imagine, finance, education, energy, technology, pharmacy, pharmaceutical companies and their med reps, agriculture, manufacturing, FMCGs, all those I have interacted with, different sectors. And it is this wealth of knowledge that makes me excited, because I have channeled all that into this cause, Sales Mastery, just for you. Now, why should you sign up? First of all, you can benefit, whether you're a professional, doctor, lawyer, auditor, this cause you can benefit from. If you're a new salesperson in the industry, learning the ropes, this cause is for you. If you're a small business person, either you are there as an individual, or you have a few employees and you have limited budgets, this cause is for you. And this cause is for anybody who wishes to influence and learn how to persuade or even sell more. Even if you're an experienced salesperson who's not getting the results that you need, this cause would make a fantastic refresher for you. Now, why should you sign for this cause? Because I will hold your hand, and I'll take you step by step to ensure that you succeed. Failure is not an option in this cause. And please do not sign up if you're not ready to succeed. I will hold your hand, and I will make sure this is it's not going to be a transaction, it will be a relationship. And anywhere you are in Africa, courtesy of our partner, iPay Africa, you're able to access this course. And we are grateful to iPay Africa for that. And so when you sign up for this course, remember, it is a relationship you're getting in with me. I will hold your hand and we will walk together. Your investment in this course will be stretched for a very long time. There is a huge return on investment in this course. So do not sign up if you're not prepared to succeed. So walk with me. Sign up for this course, lendmeyours.co.ke. It is down here on this screen. That is a website. Go to eVarsity and you will be prepared to sign up to Sales Mastery. And once you've enrolled and gone through it, then I will hold your hand and walk with you to ensure that you succeed. With this course, you will not just survive. I promise you, you will thrive.